Hi, welcome. Hey, we got a lot going on these days. You know, there's so many things happening. It's really, if I think about it, probably 4 key areas for changes for the people following along from last time. You know, pretty obviously is the flooring system. You know, we're put down hardwood floors, you know, throughout the most of the first floor, and then tile in the kitchen and baths and area. And that's another area. We've been working on the cabinets, been working on the flooring, grouting, tiling in, you know, painting. There's another thing, another key element that goes on. There was a lot behind the scenes, picking the color, picking the painter to be able to do it, you know, kind of do that whole finish work on there. And then again, the kitchen cabinets, you know, they came in, I put them together and got them assembled on the wall. So there's been a lot of process going on here. It's a lot to see. It's really neat. I'd like to take you through some of these areas. So here, since we're in the master bedroom, we're doing the hardwood floor. Why don't we take a look at that? Here's the kind of product that we're using on this system here. It is engineered hardwood. The idea of this particular hardwood, it has a very thick top layer here. So this is as thick as a regular solid hardwood flooring on there. This could be sanded many times, and the main reason that makes it so good, it's actually on a substrate. It's like a plywood underneath. So this is dimensionally stable. The idea is we want to do radiant floor heating on the whole first floor, and I love the look of hardwood, but I don't want it to shrink or dry out or have any issues or check or bow. So one of the great products invented many years ago is an engineered system. Like I say, there's many different kinds. On this particular one, it's not the same as like a Pergo, as we talk about. That's more of just contact paper on, you know, masonite. But this is true hardwood, very thick top layer. On top, tongue and groove. We install it very similar to like we would in solid hardwood. You know, we nail or staple it on an angle, and I also put a little extra adhesive down too to make it totally silent. But the idea is that this floor will not shrink or change. You know, as we said earlier, you know, we want to do radiant floor heating. We had Dave Holdorf here talking about radiant and you know, how to put it in different methods. But just to reiterate, you know, my plan is I'm actually going to heat from underneath. So down in the basement, underneath the subfloor, I will attach the tubing and some kind of heat transfer plates, whether it be a graphite one similar to something like this, or a traditional aluminum emission plate like this. This would be attached, and then the tubing would be applied to it. Or a third possibility is a, you know, a system like this where it actually got the wood and aluminum disbursement plate built into one. This can either go on top of the subfloor and then your finished flooring, or people have put it underneath. But those are like the 3 different methods. But again, that's why I picked this particular engineered hardwood, because you know, we'll get that look. It's 5-inch wide, it's a little contemporary, but yet it's going to be dimensionally stable. It's not going to shrink or check or move. So it's really going to be a great product. All right, let's show you around a little bit more. Like I said, there's a lot of things happening. We'll probably go to the living room next, you know, our great room there. You get a good visual of what's happening in there between the painting and the floor. As we can see in here, we've got the whole room painted, you know, walls, ceiling, all the way up. In this case, it's kind of unique. That I have a bunch of different roof lines and things going on in here that we decided to carry that wall color right up and over the ceilings. That way you don't get, you know, the white contrast versus, say, a slightly different wall color. When you have multiple angles and things going on, it just brings your eyes to the wrong attention. We want to look at other nice visual details in here, the windows, the view, other things going on, and not necessarily look at differences between there. And you know, we just talked about the hardwood floor, but bringing that back in was the idea we're actually going to stain it. You know, a lot of guys put down a pre-finished engineered floor. The idea I have unfinished, because we're going to sand it, we're going to stain it in a gray tone, and then finish it on location. So it will look just like a conventional hardwood floor. We'll get that same look and feel, but yet, you know, with that radiant floor underneath, it'll be, you know, very secure and not shrink or do anything else like that. Another big area, like we say, that things are happening is the kitchen. We're working on the kitchen cabinets right now. You know, got them assembled. I actually got them installed. And we're just doing some fine tuning on there. It's, you know, putting on drawer fronts and other stuff like that. But we'll get to that in a minute. But, you know, as you can see, there's a lot of things happening. Trim's on order, so that'll be here shortly. You know, interior doors, same thing. Hopefully in a week they will be here. So we're trying to keep that process going, you know. I like to work from the ground up, get my flooring in, whether it be tile or hardwood, those products in. I like to set a door on top of that. Other people do it the other way around. It just happens to be the way I like to do it. I'll put, in this case, the hardwood down first. Same thing, kitchen cabinets go on top of the hardwood, and then we'll just finish around those. And then again, same thing with our trim or door openings or doors. All that goes on top of the finished floor, and then we'll do the casing and the molding last, and you know, quick coat of paint on all those kind of stuff to kind of bring it all home on there. But as you can see, there's a lot of detail. You know, we spend so much time on that behind the scenes stuff, you know, the insulation, the wiring, the home automation, all those things that go into, you know, making a great home. And now after we're sheetrocked, you're really starting to see the major changes with finished things happening on there and moving right along. So kind of unique. Why don't we go over and take a look at the bathroom, and you can kind of see some of the other things we're working on. Working on the tile, a good example would be like the master bath. You know, we got the tiling going on in there. We got the it's already grouted. It's ready to go. And like I said, I like to do things after some of the flooring's installed. You know, this way we can set the tub, we can set the toilet, some of those other fixtures in there. You know, working on the vanities in here right now. In this case, these vanities don't actually touch the ground, but I still like to get all that finished flooring in first. And this is more of a floating system, so the actually vanity does not touch the ground. You know, it just really gets attached to the wall. It's kind of a nice looking feature on there. So again, you enjoy all the tile, all the other work that goes into there, and we'll have a nice finish on there. So we're just kind of moving forward on that. Tiling, like I said, again, you know, master shower. You know, started the first course on there, let that set up and get level, and then we'll work our way up on that to kind of finish that whole showering system off. Again, look forward to that. A nice good size shower, a lot of functionality between body sprays and an overhead rain shower. It'll be fun. But as we get closer, we can dive into that and we can show you exact products. But I just want to give you an overview of some of the things we've been working on in here. Yeah, let's go over to the kitchen. I'll show you the cabinets. You know, as I alluded earlier, you know, I've assembled these cabinets. You know, we could spend a lot of detail talking about the design and the layout and, you know, choice of materials, but I just wanted to give you an overview. I picked this particular brand, and they do require some, you know, assembly, just like a wood shop would do, and put them together and install them. But as you can see, you know, we're moving forward. You know, most of the cabinets are installed. Got the drawers and door fronts, and now we're just putting on a lot of the other features that go along with that. Just to get a look and feel of the system that's in here. You know, you've got a lot of glass, a lot of windows, a lot of big open area. You know, it's really that bright and airy. I had my little assembly area in here, and then when we're going to break this down, and actually this is where the island's going to go, you know, which will be unique in itself. We're going to do painted this L-shaped cabinets here, and the middle will be more of a cherry color with a little gray glaze on them to kind of tie to the floors and that gray element that we're bringing into here. So you can see some emphasis and some work has been done, you know, with the painters, with the designers, some other things to work colors in and keep everything flowing so we don't have like disjointed between a tiled area and a hardwood area, that it kind of flows. But some things are subtle, you know, like here, the cabinet colors. I didn't want you to actually look at the cabinets. I want you to look at the view outside. I want to look at some other elements that are involved. Yeah, they're nice and you want to enjoy them, great quality, but, you know, we pick and choose elements in this house that, you know, want to draw your attention to or not. You know, maybe the island here may be a unique piece of stone and have that as a nice focal point or emphasis. But we're going to determine that as we go. You kind of, some things I don't want to say on the fly, but it's best designed afterwards. You hate to pick everything on paper ahead of time. Get some of the equipment in, get it installed, maybe even appliances, and now you start to bring in colors. And the same thing with the island. We always like to do a big work surface here, uninterrupted. You know, we kind of talked about earlier, but the idea, I like to keep a sink away from my island. I like to keep a cooktop away from my island. I just like a big serving, sitting type area, great for entertaining, having guests over, doing that. And this way it could be a nice focal point. You know, pick something with a lot of veins in it or uniqueness, and your eyes go to there, and then everything else is more subtle and just kind of tie all within there. So, and again, those are some of the elements that are important to us, Debbie and I. So, you know, we're just designing the kitchen and our main living areas to be as comfortable and as friendly for us as possible on there. Just about, you know, wrapping that up was, you know, our study and some other flooring. We can go over and take a look at that. Yeah, on our way to the study, you can see that we put down some protective surfaces over top of our tile and hardwood. You know, even though they are robust, when you start getting heavy traffic through things, you like to put down things to protect that and damage. You know, you get some people carrying some heavy things in or not. I don't want things to get damaged. You know, here we are in the study. Not much happening. You know, there's still a lot of work to be done in here, but the paint is done, and now we're moving on, you know, with the flooring and the trim to go in here. So again, this would be a perfect thing, you know, to kind of follow along and see the progress. This room can really be very welcome and inviting when we get the flooring and some of those trim in here. So stay tuned and watch along as this whole thing unfolds. As always, you know, visit the website. We're really looking for your, you know, input, your experiences. You know, if you've been out there and you've been doing projects, you know, I'd like to hear from you, your experiences with flooring, kitchen cabinets, you know, radiant floor, anything that we've been covering on these episodes. I really look for some viewer participation on this, and we can, you know, answer some of the questions and go on there. But, you know, the whole idea of this blog is a learning experience for both of us. You know, I'm learning from professionals and doing things, and also from participants like yourself. So please send in your responses.